exhaust. Harris Mechanical, Eminent Car Carrier, very right race car. It's Caloundra Kidder, Carter Armstrong. And out of Sapphire. In the Barry Wright car, the Q7 of Gavin Wooten, the 4. Then it's Bennett, Lawrence and Janet. The lights around, the Queensland title.
The jump from Armstrong, who slots into their second spot. Oh, Wooten's gone back. He's been shot backwards, and we've gone yellow. Not happy with the start. We'll get them lined up and try again.
So we are going for 25 laps as well. So it's a pretty big number to do.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of moisture left in the racetrack too, but you do have to worry about not necessarily tyre wear, but tyre management as far as temperature goes, as far as making sure you don't take the edge off the tyre too early, and making sure when you have these restarts, you get the tyre fired up. Make sure you get it to the right temperature at the start of the race, because if you don't, the tyre can what they call is seal over, and the tyre won't restart for a good number of laps, and you're going to go backwards very quickly. 25 laps. We're set this time. And the green flag flies and we will go racing.
Bit more even start this time. Carlish still gets shoved out. It's the top two expected, Smith and Armstrong, to lead this one. Queensland title, 25 to go. Huge race for our late models car. Bennett's there in 4th. Shoved back. He's got Lawrence behind him. But Smith, does Armstrong or anyone have anything for the Tassie Devil?
He comes across the start line to complete another lap out front. Armstrong still not looking very comfortable right now. Very right race car. Sliding very high through turn number 3. Look at the way that Brad Smith's just able to drive down the straightaway. Puts his foot down, gets a lot of grip in that rear end. So comfortable and consistent. With late model racing, as soon as you get the car up, what they call up on the bars, the comfortable mid, the car just needs to load around the corner. That's when it's at its best. And right now, Brad Smith has that black diamond race car just about perfect. A couple of bumps at turn number 4, but it's no hassle for your race leader.
Yeah, car set up to perfection, just basically drives itself around the corner. Oh, Wooten's into the fence hard. On the front straightaway, we're going to go yellow. Now the late model Queensland title has our first stoppage. Got the cars to pull up on the main straightaway. Will be a cone restart by the looks of things.
Set to go green once again for the Autobarn Bundaberg Queensland late model title.
Start's so important. This could be the win of the race right here on the restart. Lights go green and a very even dispatch from our front three. Armstrong's thinking about it. Nowhere near close enough to get down the inside of Smith. Carlish holding off Bennett. And Lawrence now goes to the outside.
Yeah, the 6T right now with so much grip coming off the corner and traction. Car just drives away from Armstrong. Armstrong very, very good at the entrance of the corner. And I tell you what, Brendan, I think he's actually found a bit of pace since that restart, because he hasn't dropped too far back from Smith. But again, just struggling on the exits. That rear axle just spinning up when he tries to put the foot down.
A lot of laps. Got to make the car get to the finish. high wear's probably not going to be a factor. We're not going to see any tyres buzzing or anything like that, but it's probably going off if you overheat them. So staying in contact with Smith to the final stages should be Armstrong's mission here. If he doesn't have the pace right now, he might in 20 laps time.
Yeah, the track's still got developing to do, Brendan, as you're saying, and Brad Smith out front, he won't know where anyone else on the racetrack behind him is really running. So you might see Armstrong start to try some new things, maybe move up the racetrack slightly to find some more grip. And again, the gap hasn't grown too exponentially. Armstrong's just still there or thereabouts. Just watching the 16 on the straightaways, down into turn number 3 again. Again, Armstrong really setting it into the corner, trying to get the car sideways. And it's all about traction right now for the Q35. Meanwhile, this battle for 3rd and 4th, currently held by Carlish. Again, one of those drivers, Mr. Consistent, just had a quiet night early, but started on the outside pole and running around in the 3rd place with Bennett all over his rear bumper, just unable to get past.
Lap traffic might have something to play here. They're going to have to go probably upstairs to some of the cars, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. As Smith now starting to approach the 6 of Jenna.
As you said, gets to the first lap car is Brad Smith behind the Q6 driver from Gladstone of Peter Jenner. And Smith makes quick work of him around the top on the straightaway, then able to get back down to the pole line through turn 1 and 2. And the car's very sideways. You can see a lot of rubber starting to put down on 1 and 2. A lot more than it looks like in 3 and 4, Brendan, which is quite surprising. Usually we see 3 and 4 deteriorate more than 1 and 2. But turn 1, very shiny down low.
Armstrong been walked a little bit, just reached Jenner at the wrong time and lost basically a whole corner, or nearly a whole straightaway. He won't go upstairs by him. And now he throws it underneath. Oh, and he gets into the door. Really doesn't want to go upstairs, does Armstrong.
And meanwhile, Brad Smith stuck behind Gavin Wooten a little bit here, Brendan. Look at that, 4th and 5th. Lawrence, got underneath the back fuel cell of Nick Bennett. Brad Smith still stuck behind Wooten.
9 to go.
9 laps of racing. Carter Armstrong is closing on your race leader. Wooten making it very difficult right now. Smith gets a good run through turn number 3, but not 4. Wooten still holding on, and Smith needs to get a hustle on here. He clears the Q7 now and takes the spot and puts a lap car between him and Armstrong. That's crucial as Bennett trying to sneak himself into the 5th place. He looked to the inside of Carlish that time and then had to tuck back in. Again, both drivers really trying to hold on to the pole line, doing everything they can. Bennett really needs to try something different here, Brendan, because it's just not going to work trying to peck away the inside.
No, Carlish's car's too tall. He's going to just hold there on the bottom. He's going to have to go big or go home. His 4th worth keeping. You may as well go for it to try and get on the podium.
Yeah, exactly right. You want to go home with a trophy? Just go home with a car and the trailer. What do you want to do? Bennett in his first Queensland title, as does a lot of these drivers. Chris Carlish holding on to that 3rd place. And the car very tight. Here comes Bennett. Thought better of it. Carlish closed the door. Brad Smith, your race leader. About to put a lap down on some of these drivers. Lawrence a little bit out of shape. So goes up the inside of him. He's still green on the racetrack, and we're counting down the laps now. And Brad Smith putting on another clip here at Carina Speedway. And this will be interesting, Brendan.
Bennett should follow Smith here. He should go straight behind him.
3 to go.
Should try and hug to the back and do exactly what Smith does. And while he's unsettled, try to pass Carlish, get in there. 2 laps remaining in the Queensland title. Smith's on the outside of Carlish. Gets by. You'd say he's home and hosed from here.
The battle on the racetrack is for 3rd and 4th. Daniel Beck Can he do what he just witnessed Smith do? Go around the outside of the 25 car. He looks to the inside again. But Brad Smith will take the white flag with one more lap to go on the Queensland title. While it's 3 seasons since we had a Queensland champion. And in the 10th running of the late model Queensland title, Brad Smith takes home the Q1.
Oh, Bennett absolutely went for it on the last corner, last lap. Couldn't get it. Carlish a hold on to third. Armstrong home for second. For the Queensland titles, going to Tasmania. Your winner tonight in the T6, Brad Smith.
Absolutely fantastic drive by Brad Smith from Tassie. Fastest lap time, well and truly ahead of the field, a 17.306, a 17.306, and Carter Armstrong, not to be outdone by that, of 17.553. So still very close indeed for our top 2 finishes. Give him a round of applause, folks. Here he comes round with the checkered flag in reverse direction. Our new Queensland champ, Brad Smith. Don't forget, folks, presentation down in the pit area for our trophies for our nostalgias and our juniors. So if you want to pop down and see the presentation of trophies down in the pits after we finish doing a couple of shots out in the middle, presentation in the pits for our Carina Classic, for our nostalgias and our juniors.
Well, pulled up here on the back straightaway in front of Carina Speedway sign. On front of the snack shack here. And another dominating performance. Black Diamond race car, Devil race parts, full bore race gear. Mobag suspension and consulting. 6T from Devonport, Tasmania. And it's been a long, long season. And this one tops. Put your hands together for your feature race winner, Queensland champ, Brad Smith. The icing on the cake has been a massive season.